Power BI also includes some really rich mobile applications to help you keep in touch with your data when you're on the move. We've got a Windows 10 tablet application, one for Windows Phone, iOS, and Android. Let's start by looking at the Windows 10 tablet application. You can see it's a really rich full-screen experience that helps you keep in touch with the data that you care most about in your hand. It's very much touch optimized, really designed to give you a great experience on these sort of touchscreen devices. And you can do things like sharing and collaborating with colleagues in your organization right from within the application. When you get started, we'll actually load up some sample data for you. So even without signing into Power BI, if this is the first experience you've had with Power BI, you can get right into some dashboards and start playing around with the data. Obviously, what you're probably going to want to do is sign in. And there's a few different ways of doing that. Back on the Getting Started page, click Get Started, and then you can choose to connect it to Power BI or to a SQL Server Reporting Services server. If you sign into Power BI, you'll be prompted to log in as if you're logging into the service. And when you start exploring this application, you'll be presented with all of the dashboards and reports that you've got access to within Power BI. So I can choose any one of these dashboards, choose our custom profitability sample, and you can see all of the rich visuals, charts, graphs, etc. that Power BI provides. You can navigate back and choose one of the different ones. Let's look at our Van Arsdale dashboard, and you can see we've pulled in all of the same things that we had before, whether it's images or charts or Excel objects or whatever it could be. I can also browse to individual reports from here. You can see those on the bottom to view details and interact with the reports just as if I was interacting in the browser or in Power BI Desktop. Let's go back to one of those dashboards. This is probably where you're going to spend most of your time. And one of the great things about these mobile applications is that I can choose an individual chart from a dashboard and focus on that one on its own. And when I pop into this focus mode, I just see a single visual that takes over a full screen experience, which is great for mobile devices like this. As I hover, as I tap on different parts of this chart, you can see this line sort of hovering over, and the legend at the top shows me the individual values for everything within that time period in this case. And that applies for all of the different chart types. So you get different experiences depending on the type of chart. So for this pie chart, I can see all of the different values and the relative contributions, but I can also sort of dial through this pie chart to swipe through the different values. It's a really nice experience optimized for this touchscreen environment. I've even got access over on the left-hand side in this navigation pane to the different groups that I'm part of, the different workspaces within Power BI. So if I want to swap over to different groups, I'll see the different content based on that. Let's take a look at what this looks like on a Windows mobile device as well. You can see I've got the same dashboards and reports available to me on this first screen. And if I open up one of the dashboards, I'll get a slightly different layout. In this case, we're showing you all of the tiles on the dashboard in this sort of vertical line that makes it much easier to scroll through and find the content that you want on this small screen. I can do the same thing that I was doing before in the tablet application when I can click on one of these tiles and see more detail. For example, I can dial through this pie chart just the same as I could before. If I go back to this line chart, I get the same capability to hover over the months and see the details at the top changing. If I turn my phone around to landscape mode, the visuals will readjust. And in fact, when you're looking at the dashboard in this landscape mode, you get the full layout of the dashboard. The tiles are arranged the same way as if you were viewing it in a web browser. The other thing that I can do here, of course, is go from a dashboard into an individual visual and even into the report behind the visual. So you see at the bottom, there's a little chart icon. When I tap that, I go to the report. The screen rotates back round to this horizontal mode, the landscape mode. And that's because typically most reports are going to be geared towards a landscape layout. And I still get all of the same visualization capabilities here. And I can still interact with the slicers and select different years, for example, or I can cross-highlight and filter across these different visuals and do all of the same sort of interactivity that I'd be able to do on a report in the browser, even swapping between pages using this tab strip at the bottom. So you can see we've had a really tailored experience when I'm using a small screen device, just as I would do on a tablet PC, but focused here for something with a smaller screen. The iPhone's the same. Let's take a look at that one. Let's open the Power BI app, and you can see I've got the same dashboards here. I can view the reports individually as well. Let's click on one of the dashboards. Let's choose that Van Arsdale one again. And again, you can see everything's been arranged in this kind of vertical layout. And I can still tap into one of these, dial through my pie chart, or I can go into one of the line charts here, and even again go through to the report itself. Things will swap over into the landscape mode. I get all my report content in this nice landscape mode. I can do things like pinching and zooming in on this report. I can still interact with those slices as well to select particular years. And you'll see all of the visuals update as well to reflect my selections. So the iPhone application, just like the Windows Phone application and just like the tablet one, are great ways to keep track of all of your data whilst you're on the move. And we'll explore some of the more features and functionality in the rest of these videos.